Hi, this is Bethany Marshall with Morgan James Publishing, and today I'm speaking with our author, B. Boccalandro. Hi, B. How are you?
I am great, Bethany. How are you?
I'm awesome. It's so nice to speak with you today. We're so excited of the launch of your new book. And so for our viewers today, B's new book is called Do Good at Work: How Simple Acts of Social Purpose Drive Success and Well-Being. Can you hold that cover up again? I just
Yeah.
love it. It's so, I don't know, it just makes me want to pick it up. Love the colors. It's so beautiful. So B, this is such a fascinating topic, and I've got some questions for you today. And I'd really like to just kind of first establish, who is this book for? So who should read Do Good at Work and why?
Anybody who works and likes happiness is is likely a good candidate for this book. So the book is meant to help anybody in any job sit down on Friday at dinner and feel proud because their work week made a meaningful contribution to others or to a societal cause. And it might be because they successfully mentored a coworker all the way to a promotion, or it might be because they helped a customer who just lost their job make it through the week, or it might be because they started a new program that will counter social injustice, for example. And by the way, they're not just sitting down at dinner feeling more proud and more fulfilled because of the purpose they brought into their work week, but the evidence, there's lots of evidence, lots of scientific evidence that they're also less likely to wake up that night anxious. So you're less likely to become anxious. You're less likely to develop cardiovascular disease. You're less likely to have high levels of inflammation. So you're healthier. And of course, you're happier as well. And by the way, on Monday, when you go back to work, you're going to be super powered. You're going to be more productive because, again, there's lots of evidence that when we pursue the social purpose that's doing good for others at work, work becomes a lot easier, and it's easier to do. It's easier to stick to it. We're more creative. We actually work a little bit harder. So that's what it is. Anybody who works and who would like to be happier, healthier, and more productive and more successful in life.
Awesome. Wow, I think that's got to be most people. Um, so I really, I get and I understand how someone in a place of leadership or authority
Mm.
apply some of the key concepts and do good at work. But how would you say, like, somebody, maybe a junior staff person or someone with limited authority, could really bring purpose to their own work?
Yeah. Well, you need to meet uh, several people in the book. So one is Leroy. Leroy parks cars for a living. And he realized, oh, some of these tires are bald. And he thought, well, I could do something about that. And so now before he parks the car, I mean, after he parks the car, I'm not sure when he does it, frankly, but he checks all the tires. It probably takes him 30 seconds. He's got and if any tires are bald, he, in a very friendly way, alerts customers and says, hey, your back right tire or passenger tire is a little bald. You know that this contributes to highway fatalities. And so now every time he parks a car, he is actually reducing highway fatalities. And or I could also introduce you to Tina. Tina is an administrative assistant at a regional trucking company, and she noticed that the janitorial staff was throwing out the rolls of toilet paper when they were half used, which makes sense because you don't want that calamity in the middle of the workday that there's no toilet paper. But she said, well, this is going to landfill. And so she just told the janitorial staff, hey, instead of putting it in the trash, drop off this unused toilet paper at my cubicle. And once a week, she drops it off at a homeless shelter. The managers of the homeless shelter told her that their grocery bill had been reduced by so much because of her donation that they now have an ice cream social that they offer residents. So Tina doesn't have a lot of say. She's not some executive in a company, and neither is Leroy, but she found a way to reduce solid waste, by the way, also carbon footprint because there's less paper being produced, and deliver an essential product to help the homeless population. And then there's ice cream. So so it's kind of like win, 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 win. Whatever level of authority we have in our jobs, we can use it to do good.
Yeah. That's so profound. And yeah, I love those examples that you share. And it's just a reminder, like sometimes you might have to get a little creative, or you might have to look for that opportunity, but chances are there is something that anybody could implement and apply in their work life. So incredible. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So the last question I've got for you today was, we were so excited and impressed that Adam Grant, who
I know.
really acclaimed New York Times bestselling author and hosts a big podcast called Work Life, he said some neat stuff about the book. He said that Do Good at Work was an actionable way to make work meaningful, but that it was also fun to read.
Yeah.
So that kind of seems like it could be a little bit contradictory, a business book that's fun to read.
Yeah.
Could you talk a little bit about how that your book is could be a fun read for somebody?
Yeah, I was so honored that he selected it actually as one of the 30 new books to read this fall. And I'm especially honored by what you just said about his endorsement. So in a sense, there's nothing fluffy about this book. It's got 158 footnotes, all referencing academic studies, scientific studies. So everything I shared with you about cardiovascular disease and anxiety, that, there are studies backing all of that up. But my main point was to make it accessible to anybody. And so I wanted it to not read like a textbook or an academic study. And I worked very hard at that. And I insisted that just because it's rooted in something as solid as rigorous research and, years and years of testing it in workplaces as well, doesn't mean that it can't be light and a delight to read. So it has stories. And in fact, it's funny because the early readers, one of the characters has become a folk hero. People are like, can I get a t-shirt with his with his quotes? And so it has lots of stories. And I even added cartoons. So a lot of people, it benefits from the wisdom of a lot of people. And like, this is Tina. I introduced you to Tina. So I draw for fun, and I thought, well, I'm honoring these people with their contributions by mentioning them and quoting them, but why not add a little bit more fun and put a drawing in there of them? So it has hand-drawn drawings as well. And when I set out to read it, to write it, my goal was that readers would go, I felt like I was reading a story. I didn't realize like how much I was learning. And yesterday actually someone kind of said essentially that. I was on a podcast yesterday, and I asked him, how are you today, Ed? I never met him, but he said, I'm very tired, B, and it's your fault because I couldn't put your book down last night. So I was like, yay, I'm sorry to say, but I'm happy that you're tired. That was actually, so I worked very hard at that. So I am very pleased that Adam Grant said it's fun to read, and that it seems like early readers are having that experience.
Good. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, what a compliment. And it doesn't surprise me that people are really engaged by the stories. I know you've really worked hard to really construct the book in a way that that makes sense for the reader and is entertaining at the same time. So well done, B. We're so proud
Thank you.
of you and
Thank
of
you.
the message of this book, and proud to be your publishing partner. I do actually have one more final question, which is I'm sure some of the things that we talked about resonated with people today. So if someone wants to learn more about you or about the book, how can they find more information or connect with you online?
Yes, and I would love to connect with listeners. The URL is www.dogoodatwork.com. So title of the book, dogoodatwork.com. And from there, you can find your way to all sorts of information on the book, including, where to order it and all of that.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for spending some time talking with me today about this book. And I know a lot of people are going to really get some practical advice and insight into how that they can live a more fulfilling work life by doing more good at work. So thank you so much, and congratulations again.
Thank you, Bethany. And I love Morgan James Publishing. You guys are awesome. So thank you.
Thank you so much. It's our authors that make it all worthwhile. So again, we're so proud, and have a great evening.
You too, Bethany.